Welcome to the Dragon Loft. My name's Tyler.
And I'm Josh.
And today we are talking about Crimson Vow spoilers. And next week we're going to be unboxing our first Crimson Vow draft booster box. So there's some commons that I think are pretty cool. We've got Vampire's Kiss. Target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Create 2 blood tokens. By the way, if you don't know what blood tokens do, they're artifacts with 1 colorless, tap, discard a card, sacrifice this artifact, draw a card. It's a new token in the set, and I'm actually pretty excited to see what shenanigans people are going to use. I think we'll see some End the Festivities as well, 1 red. And the Festivities deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control.
Similar to Blazing Volley, which does pretty much the same thing. No, Blazing Volley does not hit planeswalkers, just creatures.
Huh.
So it's a better Blazing Volley.
That's cool. Another blood token creator, Valderran Epicure, is 1 red, creature vampire, common. When Valderran Epicure enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Create a blood token, and it's a 1/1. So this 1/1 for 1 red does basically 3 things. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, which in Commander, that's 3 damage for 1. Plus it creates a blood token, plus you have a 1/1 creature.
One that I liked is Illtempered Loner. It's a 2 and 2 red werewolf. When it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. That's on its daybound side, and you can pay 1 and a red to pump it. And it doesn't tap it either, and you can do it more than once a turn. So for that late game, if you could be a game ender. And then on its nightbound side, whenever a permanent you control is dealt damage, he deals that much damage to any target. You can still pump it. So if they start blocking your stuff, well, they're still going to lose that much life because you can have them deal damage.
That's pretty cool. What do you think about this Jacob Hawkins Inspector? He's a legendary creature, human advisor, mythic rare, 1 and a blue. Tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand face down. So you could draw a card and then exile whatever you got in your hand. You may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may pay 4 blue and a blue. If you do, transform Jacob Hawkins Inspector. And if we transform him, he turns into a legendary enchantment, which I think is pretty cool because I think this is the first set that whenever they transform into an enchantment instead of another creature or planeswalker or whatever. The enchantment side says, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library face down. You may look at that card for as long as you remain exiled. So if this is your commander in mono blue, you're going to be exiling a lot of cards face down. And the reason you want to do that is because once during each of your turns, you may play a land or cast a spell from among the cards exiled with this permanent without paying its mana cost. So you could cheat out some pretty big stuff with this guy.
Well, he's going to cost 6 to be able to get to that point anyways. So I think the cost being so high is going to make him a little bit more fair. And then it's only once during each of your turns, so you can't use them to cheat out free counter spells or anything like that on everybody else's turn.
No, but you're going to basically be playing green Stompy and blue. Mono blue. So mono blue Stompy.
Kind of.
I don't know. What other types of things could you do with it?
can't flicker it because then you'll have to pay the 6 again.
Yep.
It could be pretty good, but like I say, you'd still have to have just a regular mono blue deck and try and figure out a way to maybe opt on the turn before and scry something onto the top of your deck that you can cast for free that will, like an extra turn spell or something. Eva Brooks Caretaker. It's 4 and 2 green. It's a human werewolf. It's a mythic rare. It has hexproof, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. And that is the daybound side. It's a 4/4. The nightbound side, it has hexproof still, and other permanents you control have hexproof. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. And it's a 6/6. So I think that will be another game-ending card, in standard at least, for werewolves.
Yeah. I think I just like the art the best. I like the art on the front side. It's very bright, very clean, and it just looks really good.
Yeah. Plus being able to start throwing 1/1 counters on your werewolves is going to be pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some vampires, because that's what this whole set is about. So, the vampire in the set, the one that it's all about. Olivia, Crimson Bride. 4 black and a red, legendary creature, vampire noble, flying in haste. Whenever Olivia, Crimson Bride attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains, when you don't control a legendary vampire, exile this creature. So, I think that's going to be super fun for a commander. I personally am going to build a commander deck around her. What's some first cards you think of when you see that?
Hexproof. Because if someone gets that off your field, you're going to lose your board.
Well, it just says a legendary vampire. So, I mean, you could even do all kinds of legendary vampires and put them in your graveyard.
Maskwood Nexus. Then you can just have a bunch of legendary creatures, and they're all vampires, so they'll never die.
Yeah, that would be one way to deal with it. The Groom himself, Edgar, the Charmed Groom, 2 white and a black. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. Boy, wouldn't that be cool if that was a partner commander? Wouldn't that make sense?
Wouldn't that make sense? With a wedding ring in between them, right? So you can start wedding ring in your command zone.
Yes. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. When Edgar, Charmed Groom, dies, return it to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control. And its transformed side is an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink and put a bloodline counter on Edgar Markov's coffin. Then, if there are 3 or more bloodline counters on it, remove those counters and transform it. So, basically, you can just keep bringing them back.
Right. You can fill that deck up with board wipes and pretty much never lose Edgar once you've cast him the first time, unless somebody exiles or destroys the artifact. I'm really looking forward to this wedding ring. When it enters the battlefield, if it was cast, target opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. And whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring draws a card during their turn, you draw a card. And whenever an opponent who controls an artifact named Wedding Ring gains life during their turn, you gain that much life. So we finally have some good white draw power.
Yeah.
You can use it to make friends, or you can use it on the person that's going to be drawing their deck every turn.
So it goes both ways.
Right.
So anything you draw, they'll also draw.
Right.
Okay.
So I think it'll be a good way for white to make friends for the time being. Draw some cards, gain some life, and then divorce.
I wonder if that's foretelling anything. Olivia. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for today. We will be opening the Crimson Vow draft booster box next week, and then the week after that will be a set booster, and then the week after that will be a collector booster. Keep in mind, we're still on our goal to reach 50 subscribers. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we will be giving away a Crimson Vow collector booster. Keep in mind, we're still on track to reach our goal of 50 subscribers. And once we do, we are giving away a Crimson Vow collector booster pack. So tell your friends, share, like, comment. That tells YouTube to show this video to other people that might be interested in it.